Okay, so Shift Up has posted Leona's skill set, and she's a supporter unit that is a shotgun and another burst 2 unit, surprisingly, for Happy Zoo. And then Water Coat, and her ammo capacity is 9, reload time of 1.5 seconds, and she deals 201.5% of attack damage per ammo fired, and then deals 200% damage when attacking core. So the reload, I'm not sure if she's gonna be a magazine shotgun or clip shotgun. So that will determine her burst generation. So those that reload a full ammo in one bar of reload, those shotgun units generally generate less burst gauge compared to the other units like Drake and Sugar, and I think even Noir. Yeah. Okay, so moving on to her skill is Thunder's Roar. So the first line activates after 5 normal attacks and affects all allies. So this part, Roar, increases critical rate by 2.62% and stacks up to 5 times and lasts for 5 seconds. So this is 13.1 at max stacks. By the way, this is at level 10, of course. And then the second effect is activated after 15 normal attacks and affects all allies with a shotgun. Okay, so this one is new. Only Leona, I believe, possesses this. Maximum effective range increase. So hers increases it by 20% for 10 seconds. So what is effective range? So effective range for shotguns, according to Pridewin, the effective range of a shotgun unit of shotguns is 0 to 25%. So that means enemies go beyond that effective range. There's a damage drop off, I believe, for shotgun units. This one is really huge because shotgun units have a really small effective range of 0 to 25%. Okay, so I'm hoping this increase in 20% is additive. So I'm hoping it turns the 25% effective range to 45% effective range. Because if it's gonna be multiplicative, it's just gonna turn the 25% to 30%. And if this is not static at level 1 to 10, that's just bad, bro. If you're gonna be increasing it, a gradual increase to 20%, if you're gonna spend resources to level skill 1 to level to 10 just for 5% increase or an additional 5% in effective range, that sucks. Okay, so that's it for skill 1. On skill 2, it's Courageous Luck. Activates when entering full burst, affects all allies, and the hit rate is increased by 20.28% for 10 seconds. Okay, so that's huge. So normally hit rate is working like this. So for example, this is your reticle. So with a 0% hit rate increase, usually the shots can land outside of this reticle. The pellets can land outside of here. And then as you increase your hit rate, this radius decreases. So the part that the pellets can land decreases. So as you increase it even further, it's just centered here. So as you increase it further, the space that the pellets can land goes smaller. So eventually it'll be just hitting in the middle, and that will affect core hits. So that's really good for hit rate for shotgun units. Okay, so the next line is activates when entering full burst, affects 2 ally units with the highest attack and a shotgun. Okay, this one, I was initially excited by this because I thought, okay, so for example, I believe shotgun units have 10 pellets at base. So it works like this. So each ammo fires 10 pellets. And that means this percentage is divided by 10. So that's 20.15% attack per pellet. So I thought this increase of 5 pellets per ammo shot, so that means you're firing 15 instead of 10 pellets. I thought that means a 50% increase in the multiplier as well. Because if the multiplier per pellet is 20.15 and then you keep it constant, then you add 5 pellets, that means an additional 100% of an attack multiplier, right? But no, Shift Up said that this increase doesn't really affect this attack multiplier. So this stays the same, but it will be divided by 15 pellets instead of 10. And that's just disappointing because I don't see a use for it. Okay, the only thing I can think of is against the units that are only taking 1 damage, like 1 HP damage. So that's the only thing I can see this having a use. So you'll be dealing 15 damage per ammo instead of 10. This is not affected. You'll still have this same multiplier, just a greater amount of pellets. And if you have a lower amount of hit rate and your target is small, there's a tendency for those amount to stray away from this circle, right? And so that's just bad, bro. That means it's possible that you will lose damage if your hit rate is low, because the target is not being hit by the pellets. So yeah, this part is really weird. I mean, yes, an increase of 100% on the basic attack multiplier is really huge, but why make it like that? What's the use of doing this? Maybe just add a different effect, or maybe if this one contributes to the burst generation, I guess that's a possible thing. If they increase the pellets by 5 and then 15 pellets hit instead of 10, and that means a increase in burst generation, I think that's warranted. That's really good for this part, but otherwise you might be losing damage if your hit rate is low. But yeah, and the target is small. But yeah, I think that's the only possible things I can think of the advantage of having an increase in pellet number. It's either against those units that have a 1 HP damage limit to them, or it increases the burst generation of the shotgun units affected by this, because more pellets are hit. Okay, so that's for skill 2. So for burst skill, it's a 20-second cooldown. She's a burst 2 unit, and it affects all allies. The unconditional part increases critical damage by 34.64% for 10 seconds. And then the one with the condition that only affects allies with a shotgun, it increases the crit rate by 21.32% for 10 seconds. Okay, the burst skill is very straightforward. It's just a buff, a straight up buff, but it's critical damage and critical rate. So I'm not really a big fan of critical damage and critical rate for this game because of how the damage formula works. But yeah, I guess it's okay. So of course for the team, I'm expecting for burst 1 is Tove. If not Tove, volume for the critical rate, right? I said volume. Oh, okay. Anyone with a cooldown reduction, because shotgun team, when I tested it with Tove, generates a lot of burst and they're lacking cooldown reduction. So maybe you can still use Tove and then volume or litter, or maybe even Dorothy as the flex unit. But right now the shotgun team is really lacking a cooldown reduction unit. But otherwise, of course, Tove is really the best for burst 1. So of course for burst 2, it's Leona. And then maybe Guilty, because Guilty is really good as a burst 2 unit. Because for burst 3, I'm leaning towards Drake and Sugar. Why Drake? Because Drake increases hit rate during full burst. And then Sugar has an increase in critical rate and attack speed and hit rate for herself. It's all selfish buffs, but increases her hit rate. And then it complements with Tove's attack speed buff. So it's mainly for that. So yeah, Sugar is the main shotgun unit I'm leaning towards for burst 3. And then Drake. Okay, so I think shotgun team is still incomplete, even with Leona. So I was really hoping she already has the cooldown reduction, because when I tested Dove, Sugar really generates a lot of burst. So it's really fast, because Sugar has a 15-second buff on the attack speed and hit rate. So even if after the full burst ends, she still has 5 seconds of increased attack speed, and she really does generate a lot of burst. And shotgun team is really lacking a cooldown reduction unit, mainly because Tove is burst 1 and Litter and Volume is also burst 1. So you'd want to use Tove as much as possible for burst 1, and then now you have Leona for burst 2. I was really hoping Leona is burst 3, even if she's a supporter, so we can just use maybe Dala or Summerhelm. But she's burst 2 unit. So right now I'm hoping that the next shotgun unit that completes the shotgun team is a burst 3 unit with cooldown reduction and maybe ammo reload. Even if it's not a shotgun unit, I'll take it. I'm really hoping the next unit after Leona, or maybe the next shotgun unit after Leona, has a cooldown reduction, whether through full burst, if it's stacking or not, or if it's through the number of normal attacks done, maybe even 10 normal attacks, and then a 1 second burst cooldown reduction. Because if they're a shotgun unit and you have Tove and you have an attack speed increase, that's gonna be enough, right? If it's based on normal attacks and then you have Tove for the attack speed increase, it's gonna work. And then maybe even have something that increases the stacks so that Tove can be more consistent. So yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching and good luck on your polls. See ya.